Hi, this is Alex. My mom is Heather from Shine.fm. This is Sipping Tea with Heather and Steven.
Goobers or Raisinets?
Oh, Goobers all the way.
Oh, come on.
Raisinets? A chewy?
Yeah,
No.
and that's what makes them last longer. You suck the chocolate off the goober, it's gone. What do you got left? A crunchy peanut.
Yeah.
That's it.
No goober.
Raisinets are the thing
Raisinets.
that keeps giving. I disagree.
How
I think
does
you're
it
wrong.
keep giving? It's
because
a little
you get
squiggly.
you get the raisins stuck in your teeth, and then like 10 minutes later, you're sucking on your teeth. And you're going, there's still raisin bits in there.
No.
Come on.
First off, I'll tell you, I'm not a huge fan of anything like a nut or anything covered in anything. So I don't love like chocolate. I don't love Goobers. I don't love Raisinets. I don't like. I don't. That would not be my choice.
That's gonna make your Christmas present pretty awkward.
Oh, no.
Chocolate-covered assortments by Russell Stovers.
Well, like
what?
my dad actually loved chocolate-covered cherries, and I don't like them.
Yeah, see, I don't like them either.
Because it like oozes in your mouth.
Yeah.
I don't.
No, I'm not a fan
That is
of
not a
that.
good thing.
And you know what? Have you ever seen someone eat a chocolate-covered cherry and try and take like just half of it?
You
and,
can't do it.
It's impossible.
No, right,
It is
yeah.
designed to make a mess.
Yeah.
That is the one candy on the planet that's like mess maker right here, numero uno.
Yeah.
And it's the chocolate.
And it's probably
the
going to go
cherry
down the front of
cordial
me.
or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
And I just never, I loved buying them for him, but I never, he would always be like, you want one? I'm like, no.
And when you gave them to him, he opened it and ate one.
Yeah.
But how did he do that? He just popped the whole thing.
He just popped the whole thing
See,
in his mouth.
and that's the way you gotta go.
He was not dainty. I mean, he was like.
But yeah, that's the way you got to go, because
No,
if
for
not,
sure.
you're going to end up wearing it.
Yeah, exactly. So out of raisins and peanuts, anything else that you like chocolate covered, or everything you like chocolate covered?
No. No, there's not. The one thing I can tell you, and this is so strange that this is how my brain works. The one thing that popped into my head that I knew I did not like chocolate covered, because there's a lot of chocolate covered I found I have grown to like. A delicacy that I was introduced to probably about 5 years ago. Chocolate-covered potato chips. Didn't know they existed. Really like the yin and yang of the chocolate versus, how they play against each other.
Right.
That's what that reference means
Right.
to me, okay?
Yeah, right.
The juxtaposition
For sure.
of the sweet and the salty.
Yeah.
I do not like chocolate-covered gummy bears.
Oh, no, me neither.
Yeah, no. No.
I'm not going for that either.
No, so, but almost everything else, like I'm thinking like movie experience kind of thing.
Yeah.
So no Goobers, but raisins,
Right.
Raisinets, snow caps. Remember they were like miniature little chocolate chips that have little. No,
Yes.
you're making
no,
the
no,
face.
No, I know what you're talking about. No,
but you're not happy about that.
No, it was just those weren't my favorite.
So what do you? Okay,
Going to the
now
movie?
You're going to the movie. What are you grabbing?
Bunch of Cruncha.
What's that?
It's like Crunch bars, but little balls. So,
What?
You know a Crunch bar, right? It has rice in it with the chocolate. A Crunch bar. It's like blue and red on the front. They make.
Do they make those anymore?
They make. Yes.
A Crunch bar.
Yeah, and then now they're little clusters in a box, and so then they're just like, I love those.
Really?
I love those.
I'm stunned.
You
I
don't-
didn't. No, I mean the Hershey miniatures used to have what was called with a red label.
They still
called
do.
Crackle.
Yes.
That still exists.
Yes.
See, I've totally lost touch with
I'm gonna have to send you
the
some.
world of chocolate. I used to like the special darks in there. Though.
I do like that too.
And what was terribly interesting to me was the fact that I could have as many as I wanted. Not
Yes.
like they like encouraged me to eat chocolate,
Uh-huh.
but none of the rest of my family liked the special darks.
Oh, that's the best.
And that's the first thing I would go for.
Right. So you're like, nobody's touching my
And
candy.
exactly.
Love it.
And not only that, it was like, oh, is that bag empty? No, there's like 3 special darks floating around. Yeah, man, there
Hand
are.
it over.
No, now that bag's empty because I'm, they're miniatures, so it's okay to consume
Right.
3 at a time.
Yeah,
but yeah,
no, for sure.
No, that's
yeah.
movie.
No, Bunch of Cruncha is what it's called. And they're in a blue box.
They're in a box.
They are. Yeah.
So, like, I can find this at your local movie theater.
Yeah. Or I think they have them at the dollar store.
Really?
So in a box. Yeah. I'll have to find some and take a picture of it and send it to you because that's my favorite. And I love the chocolate and the popcorn. So like you're talking about the sweet and salty. I love to eat popcorn and then have a bunch of Cruncha and then eat popcorn and then eat a bunch of Cruncha. I love that.
Well, how about the popcorn that's drizzled with chocolate? Is that a thing
I do
for
love.
you?
Not at the movies, but I do love that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
That's
isn't it?
a nice little Christmas gift, by the way.
Oh, so not the assorted,
Not the assorted Russell Stover.
not the
With the
assorted,
exploding middles.
or toolbox of random nuts and bolts covered in chocolate.
Oh, no. Okay, I've got a question that's related to this.
Oh, go ahead.
And I will answer it too.
Well, that's the rule.
Would you ever eat chocolate-covered bugs?
Yes, and I have.
No!
Yes, and I have.
Where did you eat chocolate-covered bugs and why?
The first time I did it was in high school. So a very long time ago.
Oh,
and
my.
The very first time I did it, a young lady came to the science fair. I went to a magnet high school in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it was a college preparatory school. And so the science fair was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like local TV news crews came to this science fair. And so this young lady baked 2 batches of brownies. One batch that she had made at home did not have bugs in them. Batch 2, to prove that she was putting bugs in them, she made them there at the science fair. She brought like a little oven, like not like the little fake one with the light bulb,
but like
a miniature oven. Though.
Okay, yeah.
And she baked like a 3x3 pan of brownies.
Oh.
And she was offering them to people, and I was like, "Look, just tell me the truth. Will I be able to taste it?" And she's like, "No." And it increases each serving of the brownie to have like 16 grams of protein. She's like, "I think this is the food future." And I said, hand me a brownie.
Oh, dude. Oh.
And I ate the whole brownie, and that was the first time I consumed a bug.
Did you taste it?
I could not taste it, and so I ramped up my own personal game. And there have been situations where at specialty stores, and I'm thinking of a particular, I won't name it, but there's a particular chocolate confectionery.
Okay.
And they have individually enrobed in milk chocolate smallish crickets, and I have eaten those and enjoyed them.
You're like,
you weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I was not.
Yeah.
Because I'm like about ready. I'm like holding back the grossness.
Oh, stop. It's just a bug.
That's gross.
It's a bug in chocolate even.
I know, but
you know what? And here's my explanation for my defense of this. Not only could I not taste it, after I could taste it and I knew it was because I had the small chocolate, you have to remember that the United States government, the food department that watches over like food production, allows like so many bits of rodent droppings in peanut butter and so many bits of like chewed up mice in chocolate. I mean, there is debris in the food we're consuming that has been blended smooth. And there is stuff in that. And I hate to break it to you, but there is stuff in that. And so when she looked at me and she was like, "Do you have the nerve?" And of course, you know, young me,
dare
exactly.
Steven, no,
young me was like, "Oh, I'll eat this brownie as I slide down the banister out in front." I mean, what are you talking about here? Anything for a photo op? Are you kidding me? So I took the brownie and I ate it. I ate the whole thing, and she was like, "Now I want you to eat this piece," and I was like, "Why?" And she was like, "Well, there's 2 reasons, and I'll explain to you after you eat the second piece." So I thought, "Oh, she tricked me. She did the old switcheroo."
Right.
And she didn't. And she was like, "Now, honestly, tell me and answer me. Could you?" And I was like, "No. Mealworms? Nothing. Got nothing." And she was like, "And I've improved this from like almost no protein to 16 grams of protein per serving. Why wouldn't you eat brownies with mealworms in them?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know why I wouldn't, other than I've never cooked with mealworms before."
Oh, I'm having a hard time. I'm having a really hard time with this. I could not.
You know what? I bet you could if I didn't tell you. So if I handed you 2 little pieces of brownie.
I'm never taking any food from you again. I will look at your wife when I'm at your house and go,
"No.
Did Steven make this? We're not doing this."
Scotcheroos with bugs in them? Yes or no? No. I'll take the bug-free option.
Yeah, I have never. I don't. I mean, here's the thing. I know that when I was in Africa and we were eating things that I wouldn't normally eat, like goat.
Yes. Again, something I have dined on.
Yeah. And then, different vegetables that maybe are a little different, or, fruits. I mean, that was okay. I'm just not super. I'm not very adventurous when it comes to my food.
Yes, and this would be the most appropriate time up until this point in our podcast lives together, where I begin to tease you about your choices at a Mexican restaurant.
Okay, so full disclosure, you're partially
see.
Mexican.
I'm partially Latino.
Yes.
Both Mexican and Spanish.
Right. And so you have a lot of culture in your history.
I.e., you grew up poor.
No, that's not it. You grew up with a lot of relatives in your family who cooked that type of food.
I did.
I was raised in Western Michigan in a small town where my mom worked full time. We're white. So my mom's second husband was a hunter. Okay.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And he would shoot deer.
Yes.
And as a child, I had a very hard time with that. Okay.
Because you had visions of what, like Bambi's mom being shot or something?
Okay.
But the food was delicious. You just couldn't reconcile the picture in your head and what was on your plate.
So what they would do is they would make something and not tell me that it was venison.
Okay.
So I would ask them. I would say, is this venison? Like, because it would be ground meat in spaghetti or something.
Right.
And they would say, no, it's not.
Yeah. I've had some really good venison.
And then I would eat it and they would go, just so you know, that was venison. And I think it was like the deception was really hard for me.
Yeah.
And so I think that has tainted, because I actually have a brother now and a few people in my life who hunt, and they've said like, hey, the way it's processed now, like you really can't taste the difference. And I'm like, it's psychological for me. And so I think so many of my food issues are psychological.
Well,
is what
I think so many of your food issues are born out of deception. That's what the problem really is.
So do you think that my white girl Mexican choices are born out of deception?
I think you're deceiving yourself as to what good Mexican food is, maybe.
Yeah, you and I have talked about this, and I have expanded my reach a little bit, but I don't always get the chimichanga.
I'm moderately proud of you, then.
Not really proud of you?
And here's the thing. I've expanded it only slightly. Well, then I'm only slightly proud of you. I don't know.
Hey, I'm 50 years old. It's going to take me
50.
some time.
Wow, that sounds old coming from you.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, we've got... Wait, there is in the teletype. Breaking news.
Breaking news?
So I wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
At the end of that conversation, we were talking about the action figures.
Yeah.
I asked our friend Gary, the chief engineer.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
And here's how Gary's mind works.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a little insight into Gary.
I love it.
I asked Gary this question.
Uh-huh.
And I thought he would respond with, what's this for? What's this about? He would ask for context because that's what I would do. But see, that's my brain, not Gary's
You're
brain.
Just like, hey, I'm having a conversation.
He did answer, but he answered without any context. And it took him like 10 minutes to answer. And I think it only took 10 minutes. Well, I don't know if he thought about it or if he was busy and he just grabbed his phone and answered. So here's the answer. The question again is, if there were insert action figure of you, what action might your action figure have?
Yeah.
Kung fu grip, chopping, walking cane,
beating somebody up,
cat necklace.
That's an accessory.
And accessories. Here's how he answers. Yes. No qualifier.
Right.
No context.
Love it.
Tool belt with duct tape, chewing gum, and rubber bands.
Did you say, what are the rubber bands for?
I didn't. It didn't matter because that was his answer. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give him any pushback whatsoever. I loved that.
That is
Tool
great.
belt, duct tape, chewing gum, rubber bands.
That is actually Gary.
That's Gary.
He didn't say anything about what his special power would be.
He did not. Oh. He did not select his own powers.
I think what he would have is like, he'd have something that would show that he could fix any type of computer problem.
Really?
Because typically when I talk to him, I'm like, I got this issue. Or maybe he'll just have a sign that says, did you reboot? Because I always reboot.
A little cell phone with a text message on it. Try rebooting.
Did you reboot? Because that's what Gary always says first.
In my head, I thought he would have like an eye, like a a robotic eye where he could like judge distances or see through walls
That would
or
be
do
awesome.
stuff just through. And so when you would press the button in his hand, the little eye would light up, and that would be Gary's superpower.
be
And then you could do
awesome.
like whatever that
Right.
that's the power, and then whatever the little kid comes up with.
That's amazing.
But he was totally in, no context whatsoever.
He was just like,
He was just like, here's the answer. He was like, here's my action.
I think every time we record a podcast, you need to ask him one of the questions that you have and just see if he ever questions why you're asking him that question.
Well, we're into almost a half a dozen podcasts.
Yeah.
And we've been pretty consistent about referring to.
I'm just saying, like, maybe he is thinking, oh, I'm going to show up on the podcast.
And maybe
So,
he is.
He might.
Yeah.
We might have to have a special episode
And invite him in.
and invite him in
Yeah,
and see what he says
that'd be
about stuff. Like,
hilarious.
ask him the question. So
This has been Sippin' Tea with Heather and Steven. If you would like us to answer a question, email me, Heather@shine.fm.